A warm welcome to all the listeners. Listen to the Blue Horse. Dr. C.K.N. is in conversation with Pooja. I'm sure you'll enjoy this session, and I'm sure it's going to be some food for your thought.
Let's start today's session with the question of hormones, right? I mean, they can make you feel good, they can make you feel really tired, they can make you feel bad, and you have no idea why. I mean, the world famous PMS, everything is hormone related. I just want to understand, Mr. Blue Horse, if there is ways to regulate hormones that can make you live a much healthier, balanced life.
What is your question?
Is there a way to regulate hormones?
You can't.
Cannot? Really?
No. First of all, we have limited understanding so far, as it stands today, about these a number of hormones, whatever that we have discovered so far.
Yeah.
And the endocrine organs, endocrine glands. They have no specific roots. Like blood has its own network of tubes in which it runs.
Yeah.
Lymphatic system, it has its own tubes where the lymphatic fluid runs. Hormones, they produce just like that. They find their way to reach wherever they want.
Okay.
For example, T3 and T4 is produced in the thyroid.
Yeah.
They have no capacity to travel in the blood. So they catch hold of TBP, that is thyroid binding protein, and then travel in the blood. They'll find the way. Okay.
Right.
Now, targeted enzyme productions, hormone productions, are very important. First and foremost, you have to understand these hormones and hormonal glands inside. They have supreme connection with nature.
Okay.
As you get up in the morning, the targeted hormones enzyme production starts.
Okay.
Right?
I guess so.
When the sunset happens, they slow down.
Oh.
That's why you're not supposed to sleep during the sun is on.
Oh.
Daytime sleeping is not good.
All right.
No. Keeping awake through the night and work for an organization and then sign off in the morning and go to sleep. Maybe you work for a BPO for an American time. So you run through the night with your work. And then you sign off at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. They go home, have some food and go to sleep. You fall into that pattern. You completely lose your health after some time.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. Try it and see.
Okay.
You get into all kinds of problems because you're exactly working against the nature's design. You're pushing yourself to wrong design. Now, this is the most important factor. The second one is when you do exercise, your hormone production get activated.
Correct.
So you're supposed to do exercise according to certain timing.
Oh.
That is, if you do exercises, do it after 5 o'clock in the evening.
Not in the morning?
Before 6:30, you finish off your exercise in the morning.
Otherwise, it's not good?
No.
What?
You become old very fast. You go to a gym at 10 o'clock in the morning, you're going to screw up yourself.
Like about 7 in the morning?
No.
Why?
Don't do that. You have to rather finish off your exercise before sunrise
Oh.
or after sunset, maybe 5 o'clock later.
Like when your hormones are slow?
Yeah. Why people do yoga for 1 hour and lie down in savasana for 1 hour? Because once you do yoga, all the functioning of the human body organs, they contract and expand. Right?
Okay.
So what happens in yoga, you activate your hormonal production high, in a very high manner. So put it down. You completely go to relax position to regulate your targeted enzyme production.
Okay.
This is very important. The timing of exercise.
I am worried.
Today you have gyms.
Yeah.
Then they want to make maximum money. They give you 1 hour. So when their thing is filled, they start at 6 in the morning. 6 to 7 one batch, 7 to 8 one batch, 8 to 9 one batch. How can you ever do exercise between 12 and 1 and 1 and 2? It's crazy. Okay, you go through defense. Any defense in the world. They regularly do march past. You know what time they do? 4:30 in the morning. They finish off before 6.
Okay.
Evening they have gaming sessions like keep them active. All kinds of games are followed. Football and hockey and volleyball, so many things. All is played after 5. Like I see sometime in the schools, they keep march past at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's nonsense. You cannot toil the children under the sun. No, never. That's one major reason not toiling under the sun. The second, the primary reason is your targeted enzymes production. So yes, we have equated ourselves with certain medicines to compensate through supplements like thyroxins.
Yeah.
All that kind of medicines, have been produced to equate your, Say for example, I would like to explain you here. You take the pancreas. Okay. The pancreas has alpha cells. The head of the pancreas is called the gamma cells or peptide cells. After that, for a space, for a length, it is alpha cells. After that, the main body is beta cells. After that, the tail of the organ, the pancreas, is delta cells. The alpha cells produce glucagon. Beta cells produce insulin and amylin. Delta cells produce somatostatin. Because of the organ is majorly filled with head with gamma cells, body with alpha and beta cells, the tail only is filled with delta cells. So it has no space for much of delta cells. We need more of delta cells because we need more of somatostatin. So the stomach, inside the stomach region, you have a lot of delta cells, produces somatostatin.
Okay.
Now what does the alpha cells produce? Glucagon does. Alpha cells of the pancreas produce a hormone called glucagon. What does the glucagon do? When you are in need of sugar, the glucagon will be produced and they go and release the glycogen, break them into monomers and put it in the blood. Say for example, you are eating your food at 7:30 in the evening. Next day your breakfast is at 9 o'clock. So nearly 14 hours, 13 and a half hours, you are not eating. So how am I to keep my blood sugar on? It's a glucagon.
Okay.
You understand?
Got it.
Because it will maintain between 60 to 80 blood count for deciliter of the blood all the time. Because it goes below 20, you go to coma. Now beta cells produce insulin and amylin. They are supposed to transport your glucose as and when you eat to all the cells. And then the excessive glucose will be converted to glycogen and stored in the liver and the adipose tissues or the muscle areas. Right? Now somatostatin will maintain harmony. If after eating, if the sugar is high, after conversion of glycogen, the sugar is high, somatostatin will go and diffuse it. You got the point?
Yeah.
Now what you have to understand here, the alpha cells and the beta cells and the delta cells to function properly and produce these hormones of glucagon, insulin, amylin and somatostatin. You have the gamma cells, the peptide cells, they produce the peptide hormone and they regulate the alpha, beta and the delta cells. You see the design.
So complex.
And the molar mass, they call this as a molar mass. They are 4,000. Molar mass is the weight of the molecules. These peptide hormone molecules are, having a weight of 4,600 molar mass.
Okay.
They are peptide. You want to understand what is peptide?
Yeah, please.
You know protein, right? You know the word called protein. You know the word called peptide. Protein is a sequence of amino acids called protein. Sequence of amino acids coming in particular order becomes a protein. Same sequence of amino acids are peptide.
All right.
From 1 to 49 or 50 amino acids are forming a component. It's called peptide.
Okay.
Beyond 50, 100, 120 amino acids forming a component called protein. And peptides are the most powerful hormones in the body.
Because it regulates so many other.
Yeah. There are a number of peptides have been identified so far in the modern science, in high-end biochemistry, in the recent research in the last 20 years. They are more so concentrating on the peptide in the research area of where, anti-aging.
Oh.
Say for example, glutathione is the king of antioxidants.
Yeah, I've been hearing that in beauty.
And vitamin C is one of the most brilliant component required. The ascorbic. If vitamin C and glutathione in a particular small proportion diffused inside, injected inside a saline, and through the saline it's given to your intravenous. Say for example, 2 small shots, Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Friday, whatever, for 6 weeks. You will be glittering, you know that?
Does it not have any other side effects?
No.
Then why is not people doing it?
There are people doing it, you don't know who's doing it.
But why is it not everybody doing it then?
People don't know. People don't know. Here is the concept wellness. They do this. I have gone and tested it.
Did you glitter?
Okay. Multivitamin, vitamin D, taurine, ALA. So many components are there. These are all not peptides. Okay, there are hundreds of peptides have been identified so far, and they started producing it. If these peptides are not going to be administered in you in a particular sequence, whether you're going to live long or not, you look very young.
That's awesome.
I keep in touch with all this recent research as what's happening. Most of the brilliant peptides are now produced by an organization which is, I don't want to name it, it's there in Santiago in US. Santiago. Yeah. These peptides are phenomenal. They are bringing into the medical treatment, like to revive the shrunk kidneys.
Oh.
Now they are concentrating on embryonic stem cells, exosomes and peptides. These embryonic stem cells, exosomes and peptides and all that stuff is been by and large the research outputs of groups which are doing research on anti-aging. Okay, but these are all some dope of information to you. But then what you have to understand here is we don't know how many number of hormones are produced by the human body till today. Because I know for one thing, there are certain hormones produced and within a second they disappear.
Then why are they produced?
Doing their job. Okay. Maybe 1 or 2 seconds.
Wow.
You cannot find them again. It is like the chemicals produced in the brain when you are in emotional fluctuation. As we discussed on fear, there are chemicals produced in the brain which makes you fear. Not when you are fearing the chemical is produced. If that chemical production is more in you, you are a person with a lot of fear.
That's so scary, actually.
If that chemical is not produced in you much, then you become a very gutsy girl. The human body is such an amazing machine, which you will go on learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. You need another 5 planets to store your books. Already you have written so many books now.
Yeah.
Maybe in billions or trillions, we don't know. Each medical library run to miles, right?
Yeah.
So if you go and see the Helmut Institute in Moscow, it's an ophthalmic institute, by seeing the size of it, you'll get scared. Just to treat an eyeball which is only 28 grams. Can you imagine? An eyeball weigh only 28 grams.
Yeah, that's an information.
And you have building runs into acres.
Whew.
Okay? So what is this nature's creation? Which we cannot even think of it. As you go deeper and deeper, you're going to keep on finding and finding and finding. How much more you're going to find inside your human body, nobody knows. Suddenly last year I saw, I think in 2022, for the first time they found a salivary gland, discovered a salivary gland near the throat.
Oh.
Can you imagine? It is like suddenly one day with a powerful telescope, they see galaxies. One day they turn around and say that there is another planet between Jupiter and Saturn. When they could see the galaxies, they cannot see something beyond Jupiter, is it?
Yeah, true.
So regulating hormones, your question, is impossible. You cannot. It happens on its own. It is nature's control in which you are living. It is nature which decides, which gives the command from outside for you to function inside.
So when, like for example, thyroid, when you have that thyroid hormones, the hypo or hyper, whatever, then we got to treat that. Isn't that what I'm talking about, regulating, right? Instead of having a medicine, isn't there a natural way those can be, the spikes or the dips or whatever can be managed?
See, at the moment we are having an advanced science. Is there anything, running low in you, equate it through supplements. And if that's going to give a result, it's fine. If suppose in some cases, if it doesn't give result, then they're going to suffer. Simple.
And on a very selfish thing.
There are many natural ways of healing yourself. Like I reverse thyroid by giving them limonene molecule through the lemon skin and pepper boiled water.
Wow.
With some thyroid herbal drops. It will take about 8-9 months to 1.5 years to rebuild your thyroid back.
That's all.
It's not a big thing, yeah.
Do you have anything to always keep the feel-good hormones active?
You don't need to do that. Nature is doing it already for you. You don't need to think of all those things.
That I can always feel.
Allow the body to work on its own. Don't interfere with chemicals. Don't pollute your body with chemicals. Let it go. Let it keep going. It's going to keep you good. You cannot go anywhere near it and tamper it.
Right.
Like playing with the human body is, trying to pluck the stars from the skies. Can you pluck stars from the skies? It's impossible. Likewise, this hormone part of the human body is one of the most astonishing nature's facts to understand. By no means you will be able to regulate them with any external discovery of your modern science. By equating them or by altering them, it is not possible. Peptides are the most interesting areas that you will be having a lot of remedies for a lot of things in future. Whether they're going to stop your aging or not, they're going to solve some of your major problems.
Interesting.
That I am very sure on that. I'm keeping a close watch and close look and close communication with peptide research, what has been actively going on in the last 10 years.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. With the hopes that probably the peptides can also figure out how to keep me happy all the time, we are signing off. We'll see you in the next session.